I've been in business for 40 years. Your prize is working with me. You're fired. You're fired. You haven't got a bloody clue. You're fired.
Good evening. Welcome to The Apprentice, You're Fired. It's here the freshly fired candidate gets to reflect on where it all went wrong. With the help of our panel and on-scene footage, we'll be focusing on how being project manager turned Simon in the clicking of a shutter from hero to zero. And, as usual, there'll be a catfight to analyse.
Every time he's come in, it's been the same thing that's got messed up.
I'm doing my absolute best and taking notes, absolutely.
She's absolutely, vicious and evil.
Vicious and evil. On our panel, barely able to look through his viewfinder at what we've just witnessed, one of the finest portrait photographers of his generation, Terry O'Neill, the writer and broadcaster Fee Glover, and Trevor Nelson, the super cool DJ, who'll be striking a pose for us. Tonight's task of photographing customers in a shopping centre was right up Simon Street, or so he thought. He could take pictures all right, but when it came to the firing, it was only him in the frame.
Simon, if I asked you to build me a wall, you'd build me a wall. I am not that sure that if I gave you my investment portfolio, you'd be able to run that very well. I'm sorry, my friend, I think you're a bit out of your depth here. And with regret, you're fired.
Thank you for a wonderful opportunity.
OK.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're going to give a very warm welcome to Simon Smith. I'll tell you what, you bought your camera. Let's have a photograph straight
Come on
away,
in.
shall we? Come on, here we are. I've got Terry and Neil here. Don't mess this up.
There you go.
It's right. Flash didn't go off, but that's fine. I wouldn't get Claire to look after the processing if I was you. I'd do it yourself. And normally when there's somebody fired, there's at least one person who applauds because they're pleased about it. Here, there was nothing of the sort. Just a groan of dismay. Everybody loves you, so take some consolation for that. How did you feel when you saw it?
Yeah, I really do believe that I was probably at the limit of my ability, and it was probably right for me to go when I did.
You're too humble. You've been like that all the way through.
No, listen. The fact of the matter is, I set myself up for it at the end of week 3. And I said, look, put me in charge of something, let me run it, let me do it, I'll show you what I can do. And at the end of the day, I lost the guy money. And if it's going to be taken seriously as a business programme, if you're the project manager and you're losing money, you've got to go. And I went.
He liked you, didn't he? The previous firings, he seemed very happy to do the firing. This time, we got our first with regret, and my friend, he called you. I think he liked you, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly gave me that impression. I mean, he always treated me with dignity, and even in the boardroom, he'll flash you and smile and like, I mean, I called him Alan, for Christ's sake,
I know. Let's have a look at that, actually. You look... Never did you look more like a little schoolboy.
I thought he was going to be like Blofeld in Bond, where he presses a button and the floor opens up.
You shouldn't have put that into his mind, because you're going to get that fixed in the boardroom. Listen, we've all done it. We've all done it here on the production team. You forget the sir in front of the Alan and you want to die at that moment. And you did it last week, didn't you?
Just physical, Alan. Sir Alan, I beg your pardon.
Oh, you're poor man. But you were so polite. Even after you were sacked, there was a bit when you left the boardroom. It reminded me rather of a schoolboy thanking the headmaster, having been caned.
Thank you, Sir Alan. Goodbye.
So you thanked Sir Alan for being fired, and blow me down, you did something no one else has ever done and actually had a good morning for Francis.
The taxi's ready for you now.
Thank you, Francis.
You even thanked Francis.
She's lovely. She's really lovely.
Well, why does nobody else speak to her? She's been there for 3 series now. She must have done something to somebody.
She, you walk past her when you go in and you're like at your lowest ebb because you've just come off the task, and she always smells great, and you kind of walk past.
Listen, they didn't exactly want you as PM, did they? You weren't the overwhelming #1 choice, were you?
Is everybody happy for me to project manage this task?
Don't you
It hurt this morning to be reluctantly elected project manager.
I'm making the decisions, and we're going that way.
Like that, all just...
It's this kind of thing.
I'm not feeling comfortable as a project manager.
Just knock it on the head. It's me. I'm in charge of this. Hello, guys.
Hi, Simon, it's Claire.
Hello, Claire.
You called us?
Oh, yeah. Right, this is where we're up to. Listen to me. Enter the negotiation and buy the champagne.
Okay. I find it really difficult just to restrain myself and not just flip out.
Guys, we're up against it a little bit now. Just end it and do it.
Awful project manager. Awful.
I don't think you're aware of how you are personally. Your body language was like this. You were shouting, you were sweating.
Well, no, I'm the project manager, so this is the time
But
and
don't be
place.
autocratic.
No,
You're
I'm
not
being
going to get anywhere being a
autocratic.
dictator.
Whenever you spoke to him, you treated him like dirt.
The thing is, though, Simon, as project manager, you're working with...
Don't tell me to manage. Please don't tell me to
But
manage.
I am.
She said your management style was all about shouting and sweating. That's what army management is like, isn't
Yeah,
it?
but to be fair, you can't army manage people like that because I've got a different background and something that came out in the laundry task. I probably am a very good number two, and that's my place. And there's places in companies for people that do what I do. My humour's quite self-deprecating. I know my limitations, and my level is somebody's number two, preferably Rafe's because he's great.
So what do we think of their reluctance to have him as project manager? Trevor, what would your reading of that?
Well, I was a bit disappointed with their attitude to you, because I thought you were a grafter. You're the only one in the whole show that's been grafting that hard, and I figured... But, in fairness, I did find you a little naive, Si. Just a little bit to all the bitching going on around you. Do you know what I mean? You were the one who didn't have any agenda, you just got on with the task. But I didn't know why they didn't want... Maybe they thought you were rudderless. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Coming onto this show without an agenda is extremely serious, isn't it? You should have had an agenda. I think that's what you need. Fee?
Well, when he said at the beginning, I'm prepared to do this, I'll put my nuts on the block, I mean, didn't your nuts immediately start to ache?
Yeah.
All around you were just these people who... I mean, did you sense that they were effectively going to gang up on you?
Yeah,
they did, really.
The first time I realised that was when I offered Alex the number two spot. You could actually see the cogs going in his head, and he was thinking, I gave Nicholas pricing and was able to get Nicholas fired. If he gives me this and I don't do it, he can get me fired because he's the project manager. Alex should survive being a project manager. So you could see him thinking that, and I said,
then
right...
he went to Claire.
But, Claire's a great person. She's a good manager.